Welcome back to the Early Crow. We're back, Tommy. European vacation, a little bit of a freshen up, some gear, going on, but we've found a way. We've got it all together now, and we're back. I believe it's episode 10. How are you?
Mate, I've missed you. I've missed you, mate. It's been probably 3 or 4 weeks off. Nice little holiday in the Europe sun, Italy. A few cocktails, a few beers, a few wines. Nice pasta. And yeah, I'm good to be back. Good to be back in the spring racing. Good time of the year. Haven't really spent much time in Victoria lately because I'm usually in Europe, drinking cocktails and drinking beers and having fun. So it's good to be back, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Um, Europe, favorite red wine?
What is it? Sangiovese? Is that it?
Sangiovese.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, that was about the only one I remember, but they were very nice. Um,
Do you like
actually,
them, or are you just trying to sort of appease Annie just to go like, I am a little bit cultured. I can
nah.
still
Well,
appreciate the finer things in life. Give me another Sangiovese, would you, doll? Let's get a bottle. Why don't we get a bottle?
how I got into it was it's quite funny. I was my second or first year, I reckon, and I went over to Queenstown golf trip with all the Swans Foundation boys, all the Blood Brothers. They're very grateful with their money and help out the club a lot. And I went over there with them my second or first year. I was pretty young and raw, and from Bunyip, I've never had a wine in my life. Thought it tastes like a cat's piss. But so I get over there and with these boys, and I taste this. I'm like, oh, it's not too bad, not too bad. And anyway, I kept drinking, and by the end of it, I was blind off it, and yeah, woke up with a headache and just kept drinking it from there. So it's good.
Yeah, I reckon they're the worst hangovers, a red wine hangover.
Yeah, shocking.
What else happened in Europe? What were the highlights? Where would you go again? Where wouldn't you?
Yeah, it was good. It was obviously went with my partner Annie and one of my good mates Will, and Luke was over as well. He lives in London. But yeah, it was good. A bit different to my usual ones, but yeah, it was good. We went to Italy, Sorrento, and that Amalfi Coast area. That's unreal there. So we did that, and then we went over to Puglia in Italy there. So it was good in Monopoly. If you haven't been to Monopoly, it's a nice little spot over in Puglia. So I recommend that if you're out there. Nice little town area. Um, and yeah, great beaches, great food. But yeah, had a great time, and I'm glad to be back. Well, sort of.
Yeah, since you've come back, you found a way to get to Barn Bugle for a golf trip. Um, you've played Betfair days. You like talking to you, it seems like you're playing every second day, probably every like one. You're probably playing like I'd say 4.5 games a week. Um, how was Barn Bugle, firstly?
Bamboo was great. It was very good. Four of us, three mates, two mates from back home. That one of my mates lives up in Sydney with me, but another good mate from primary school and high school, so he come with us. And little Jakey Gitstani, his name's out there now. Hasn't played a game, but everyone knows about him.
Yeah, a big
Uh,
chat man.
yeah, he's a good wrestler. But yeah, so we went down there, and yeah, we had a good time, and played some golf. I was actually very ordinary. I I was the worst on the trip, and I lost my money. So I won one game, $25 Ambrose. So but I was down a bit. So no, it's good.
Speaking of losing his money, despite the 4.5 games a week, and I reckon on average putting in one scorecard just to protect that handicap the best he can. We played last Thursday,
Yeah.
and he's very quiet. Punters like just sort of in his head, and also a little bit of insight into him how the way he operates. He likes to prepare like that narrative around just warming up. Don't really want to warm up. He likes to be there and just sort of set himself mentally. Doesn't need to sort of physically get into his work. Is my read now, but he likes to sort of be just calm and understand his surroundings, get a vibe, like a feel for the vibe of the joint, because we were a bit rushed there on Thursday and you were off the bit like straight away. You were down after the first hole. Very keen to have a friendly wager on the game, and well within his shell throughout the game, but thereabouts. So the handicap helped a lot. Like I might have parred a couple and I lost the hole. And but Jesus, didn't you like the I've never met a more competitive human being in my life, which is a huge thing to say to the people I've hung out with. And the yap from him, up 16-17 when he finally built a bit of momentum. And was it tied going down the last?
Yeah, I think you choked the last two
Or
or
I was
three
one
holes,
up.
and
I
then
was still one up. I think I was 3 up, 3 to go. Lost a lot
no, it was
of
even.
videos.
No, even going in the last, wasn't it?
I can't remember. You can look on our
Yeah.
Instagram to be there. We don't lie. Um,
But yeah, no, it was two. It was. I think he was 2 up with 3 to play, and I won the last. The 16-17 will even go into the last, and yeah, you actually, to your credit, full credit, Dicko. You pulled out a driver that did miss all day. Full credit, Ping. Thanks, Ping.
God
Um,
bless Ping.
yeah. So, but yeah, no, it was good. But that was more of a like a probably like a forgive run, if you know what I mean. Like I've sort of forgive run. I've gone back to the probably had. I'll probably have I don't know, probably 30 day freshen before I play you again. I've had my lesson, little sharpen up, little trial in between.
A little tick over, jump
Um,
out. Yeah.
yeah, so like next time we play, I'd be looking out. So yeah,
Oh,
played for the
100%. Because I know you're not going to put in a scorecard and you can only get better. Like, you're a phenomenal athlete, a competitor. Like, yeah, I'm scared, but it is 3-0 now in our golf career. Speaking of full credit, you come down and you gave me a hand. Em's pregnant, cast, life's tough. You came down and you brought food, like lasagnas, quiches. Really, really like put on a performance and very much appreciated. What was it like staying in the shed
that was good. It was
on Darcy's spare bed?
Darcy's spare bed. It was good. It actually got me up a bit earlier than I usually do because it's a bit bright, which is good. Win the morning, win the day. Got me going. But yeah, like if I don't have something to do in the morning, I usually sleep in. So um, sun coming in, say hello to the kids in the morning, coffee. Dicko good at making coffee, breakfast. Then we went and played golf and we'll do form, so it was good.
Scrambled eggs, strong, hey?
Real strong, real strong. Um, so that was his forte. But yeah,
Speaking of fortes, our man, the NFL's been fun. I got
been
to
good.
confess, I don't do any work. I basically just wait and see sort of what Matty Punts does as a starting point and just try and go the other way. But I'm starting to think that our man Justin McInerney, he cannot possibly maintain the level of performance which he is outputting. The way he talks about horses, I just can't see him having the discipline to stick to 3 sound bets weekly. I'm considering just fading his tips moving forward. I think he's about 5 clear of me. How are you handling the NFL? How are you enjoying the NFL? And a bit of like insights into the way Juzzy operates.
Yeah, it's he's one of the more interesting characters. He'd be great for the early crow. I think we should get him on later on. Um, he's he's a very like I said, very interesting man. He puts time into his NFL, loves his NFL. He's obviously clearly very good at it, but unfortunately he just doesn't know how to back them. And so maybe you need to teach him on how to actually bet to win on these things because he does these multis and like over yards, buddy, Mahomes over yards or under yards or whatever, and then he gets the 3 winners and he loses. So but yeah, he's very good at tipping, but that sometimes can be the issue. You can be a great tipster, but not a great punter. But no, he's very good at it. He loves his NFL, knows a lot about it. And yeah, I can't wait to have him on. But yeah, I've sort of got into it. I'm not overly over the old plays and all that, but I've died off the last few weeks, so
Yeah, you
I need to
started
bounce
real
back.
well. You were downhill skiing for a little bit there.
So yeah, I need to lift and yeah, we need to catch Juzzy.
I think we. Well, no offense to the great man, but I just can't see him maintaining a consistent level of performance. Speaking of football, Swans, Brody Grundy, that's huge from my point
Yeah,
of view. God, very, 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 very happy.
yeah, good. He'll be great as well as Taylor Adams. Another little. It's funny because I actually haven't had too many running or inklings with Brody Grundy, but I've definitely had butted heads with Taylor Adams on the field. We've had a few instances where we've been talking shit. So I gave him a message saying it's all right, mate. I'm actually not too bad of a bloke off the field, and when I'm your teammate. So he had a good laugh at that. But I do see similarities, I suppose, between us two little meatballs that have a bit of fire in them. So I'm looking forward to playing with him, and obviously Brody's going to be a great inclusion for us. Tap ruckman, very athletic, good, like another midfielder, I reckon, and hopefully he explodes at a new club.
New lease on life.
Exactly. Bit like
Young
when horses go to Gavin Bedgood and they just like improve.
horse. The horse is like the Bedgood of the AFL.
Yeah,
The Swans are a bit like Bedgie. Like Teddy Richards couldn't get a game at Essendon. All of a sudden, he's a premiership backman. Craig Bolton, if you
yeah.
go back far enough, he was on the Lions list, I reckon, top of my head. Came to the Swans and just put on a clinic. Catch any of the cricket last night?
I actually didn't. I was in bed, but I definitely seen the big show.
It was one of the
Um,
great nights on TV in the shed because I tell you what, 5:04, 96 prelims Swans grand final, like one of the great games of all time, one of the best last quarters you'll ever see. Chapman gets a turnover. Mickey O'Loughlin was huge all night, but Chapman gets a turnover and centers it, hits up Pluggo, kicks a 60-meter point that put us in the grand final. It was unbelievable. Daniel McPherson was good late. Shout out to Kevy Dyson, the human tank, a thick boy that just magnet to the nut. But on the other channel,
Creswell's was good.
oh, so clutch. Like Darren just slots goals that weaker minded people would miss. And he did it again and again on last night on my
He was a
TV
big
screen.
game player, wasn't he? Big game player.
I remember that they were playing North. It was just like a seasonal game. And it was almost, it might have been tied or they were down. It was like 2 seconds to go. And he just pinched someone on the titty or niggled him or something. And they just swatted him back and he did a big Stewie diver, set shot, clinched it.
goal.
You can't teach that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
But on the other TV screen, Davey Warner backed it up with another ton, I think.
Yeah.
But the story of the night, I watched it live. Maxwell with thick, hairy forearms, which I know our producer will just get around because it makes you feel safe because it's Ricky Ponting stuff. And a Kookaburra too, if you don't mind. Fucking hell. He just went ballistic. He tried to reverse lap one. He missed it that bad that he bottom batted it for 4.
The other way.
It can't like he went too early, copped it on the back, went past the keeper for 4. He could not miss.
Yeah, you know you're going all right when you're doing that, don't you?
Oh,
Shout
out to the Dutch.
When when the big show's on, geez, there couldn't be much more better in the world or to watch in any sport, I reckon. And he's clubbing them around everywhere.
Do you reckon we're a chance in the World Cup or what?
Mate, I was just thinking, geez, how we would have been massive price when we lost to what would we lose to India, Pakistan, then, or did we lose 2 in a row? Then we bounced back again.
I think we beat.
Sri Lanka. We lost to Sri Lanka, did we?
This might be where the producer wants to jump in and just clarify things, given his claims to be the Rolls Royce of a cricketer. We lost 2. Basically, we lost 2 games in a row. Then we come good. He's staying on mute.
And we would have been.
I'm pretty sure it was India, then South Africa, but we'll just let you two blokes.
Oh, the cricket box.
Yeah.
Hello, John. Hello, John. It's Hansi.
Yeah, that would have been big price though. Would have been good. But yeah, I think we can win it. But it's just in India, it's so hard to beat. They're very good. The Poms are going no good though.
Doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish, and imagine the pressure upon those Indian shoulders to come late in the tournament. Spring so far. Firstly, full credit to us. We haven't done the podcast for a few weeks, but hasn't stopped us delivering on Saturdays. We're counting what we're doing, and we are winning. You're in great form. You're carrying me now. But overall, as a team, we are getting it done. What have you thought so far of Spring Carnival, Sydney and Melbourne?
It's been good. It's just building up. Obviously, I reckon the Cox Plate best race of the carnival. But I think if we're a share company, you want to get on us now because we're about to explode. That's my opinion. But the spring so far has been good. I went to the Everest. It was a great day there. First time being to the Everest.
They all sing that song, or is that just hype?
No, they did sing it, but it was, I don't know, it was all right. Like, it wasn't that good. They could have built it up a bit more, but it was good. Packed crowd. It was I haven't been a ring when it's that full, but it was unbelievable. Good atmosphere. Think about it. Good horse. We were on it, which was good. But then going to going to Friday night races at the Valley, and unfortunately, I'm going to play. I might go. See how we go. Maybe potentially. See how I pull up. But yeah, looking forward to going to the Oaks. Going to the Big Dance in Sydney. That's on Cup Day, so I'll go to Big Dance in Sydney, and then I'm also going to the Golden Rose or Golden Eagle. One of them.
Golden Eagle. Come on, Peter Pan. Come on, man. The Golden Rose is like a stallion making race. Like that's built like it's about 11, 12-year-old, and it's got like, you know, the grouse of the grouse, the Ole Kirks, the maybe Zoo Star might have won it, you know.
Yeah, so I'm going
Militarized won it this year. The Golden Eagle is like a rich race pop up race that they've just come up with recently.
Yeah.
Early Crow is sponsored by Custom ORTC. Go and get yours now from the links in our bios on Twitter and Instagram. It is the best hoodie around, I'll tell you that much. They handle everything from design, warehousing and shipping. Their Instagram is custom by ORTC and their email is customer@ortc.com.au.
I reckon the Golden Eagle will be a fascinating race again this year, Tom. Like last year, I Wish I Win failed, not badly, and neither did Amelia's Jewel, but I Wish I Win failed in the Toorak. It was one of the great steamers of all time. I was bookmaking then, and I was top odds the whole way in, and it just kept crunching, which was just the grimmest feeling of all time. Like I was completely wrong. I was like $3 all the way down to like $2.40, and I was still bigger, and it failed, but then it went and it absolutely killed him in the Golden Eagle. You reckon Amelia's Jewel might do the same sort of thing?
Yeah, could be the same setup, couldn't it? I reckon it's around about $5 Amelia's Jewel. I can check before. It'd be interesting. Sydney way.
First time ever.
First time ever, because obviously Ascot's the same way as Melbourne.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be a great race. Who else is in that? Oh, geez, I wouldn't know who else is in the market, but it'll be a great race. Looking forward to it, because obviously Amelia's Jewel didn't live up to the hype of the Cox Plate. It's dropped back a notch. But it's obviously still a good horse.
Fat race, the Golden Eagle. It's still a very, very good race, despite being a pop-up race. And I'm watching a horse now on .com, a replay of the Toorak, the same race. And Antino gets knocked over by attrition. God bless it. Mailbag.com.au. Antino runs around on Saturday in the Crystal Mile. Should we head there now to start talking about it? Just randomly switch there myself in my head. But if it was to win, and it's expected to, it's like $2.90 chance. I think they'll back it. That's probably another push for Amelia's Jewel to win the Golden Eagle.
Yeah, it is. It's so that's against Just Folk as well. Your horse. It's around the $20 mark.
Yeah. Long range plan to head to the Crystal Mile, which is traditionally a little bit weaker for a Group 2, worth a fair bit of money on Cox Plate Day. This year we've run into Tuvalu and Antino, who have the grousest of grouse Group 1 form there is. So a bit flattening, but excited to see what our horse does second up for us. Went to track work on Tuesday, like the what's it called? Breakfast of the Best.
Yep.
And we had two horses like Keats and Just Folk gallop together in our silks. And like as a racing fan, like kid, that was fucking sorry. I don't know if are we swearing?
Yeah, it's definitely.
It was fucking like a cool thing to watch two horses in our silks run around on that morning. You know, it was sick. Cool. And I just hope that he runs a good race. It's horse racing; anything can happen. I think he's going to go good. He's won from one track and trip. He won the same race 2 years ago. I think he'll improve with Gav, but he finds a race that's just jam packed. Tuvalu is airborne. Had a tick over. Got the alligator blood form, stays at the mile. I think it ticks a heap of boxes in a small field. And then there's Antino, who it was pretty good, I thought, in the Toorak. It was absolutely luckless. First up, Flemington, when they sacked that Queensland rider, he wouldn't make anywhere near the Packlet Power Rankings. And it was absolutely...
Maloney, was it? Who was it?
Jimmy Orman.
Jimmy Orman.
And then he went to Sandown and he was completely steamed there. And the other thing with the Toorak, he was $7.50 into $5. So you know, the big boys think he's a superstar and potentially he might be on Saturday. I'd say the Crystal Mile will be a nice form reference for the Champions Mile at Flemington Saturday week. So the back end of the Flemington Carnival, they have that Grouse Champions Day, which I think's potentially now maybe the best day in racing. Like
With
the sprint that day
the sprint
will be
race
better
with
than the Everest.
like the Everest. Yeah, they'll get all those Everest horses, won't they?
Well, they get all the good ones. They'll get Imperatrice, who, let's talk about that now on Saturday.
Mm.
I mean, I could make her $1.20, $1.10.
Yeah, multi anchor surely.
I think you have to gamble responsibly. 100 858 858. Chances are you're about to lose, but I don't know how to say that. She looks incredibly hard to beat.
She looks the winner, doesn't she?
She's bomb-proof Moonee Valley. She's bomb-proof 1,200 meters. She dominates them on ratings. Her last 200 and 400, last two starts this prep at this track are just that of a freak. And that she's just class. She's got a class edge. She's got a form edge. And I can't see how she gets beat in a tiny field. The only chink to her armor is the way she's ridden or the way she rides. And she has to get sort of back worse in midfield. And it's a tiny field already on Thursday night.
Yeah, it's I reckon. Yeah, I would have loved to see it go to the Everest, but obviously I didn't want to. They've got enough money already. But yeah, I reckon it'll be, if it wins it doesn't matter if it doesn't win this, I suppose, but it'll be a huge race with the Imperatrice in that champion sprint race on the last day, on the stakes day.
I think comfortably the champion sprint this year will be a better race than the Everest.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Which scares me as a racing fan because God knows what they do with the Everest just to make sure the champion sprint isn't good, you know? Like next year, the Everest will be on champion sprint day.
Yeah.
And we'll have two races worth like $30 million with 6-horse fields.
What else you like at the Valley this week?
I think you can kick off the day with Taunting in race 1. Really like what did in Adelaide last start. It's had one start, Tom, at Moonee Valley. I think it might have been 9.55. This 1,000-meter race, but it was a, muchness. And it was very, very good. Wasn't suited. When he got out in clear air, D-Lane gave him like one across the arse and it sort of rolled in. He was seasoned more, matured more. I think he'd be very, very hard to beat in a pretty weak, small field in race 1. I had one in the last, but they scratched and they head to Sydney, which we'll talk about later on.
And of course, that would have won for sure now that it's been scratched.
Moral.
Yeah.
Completely. 100%. Race 2 in the 2-year-old race, we've backed 2 horses. We've backed a big fat roughie, Passant's Power for Wirramoo Pin, Billy Pin, my man. He'll also ride a winner on Sunday at Sale. And Sneaky Leaky. It's like $34 available now. And we've backed the favourite Blue Stratum, D-Lane rides for McAvoy Mitchell. It's $250 to around $240 around. I think that's a fair price. Its trials are elite. Very, very nice horse. Should we talk about the Cox Plate?
Yeah, definitely.
What are you doing?
It's I reckon it's very open. I think you
Put
could
it this way. Is there a horse you think can't win?
My Oberon. I don't think that can win. And I was going to say Pinstripe, but I actually don't mind that as a horse. It's done me well, so I won't say that. But I reckon my Oberons won't be able to win. But I actually love Gold Trip as a horse. I like Mark Zara as well. I reckon he'd be a great bloke to have a beer with. He has a good time. Goes over to Europe, and in the winter doesn't care about racing. Goes to Ibiza.
He goes to. I think he won the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, and then
Very Elegant. Went and watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he did something. He's over and back in a week.
Yeah.
To America.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a little Q&A with him on Friday, so it'd be good to chat to him. But yeah, I'd like to see Gold Trip win. I like that horse. I'd love to see it. Love Kieran Maher, and I'd love to see go Cox Plate in the Melbourne Cup and give him Winburn. So Gold Trip for me. And loves the Valley.
Yeah.
And I reckon if there's a few listeners out there, I reckon we mentioned Gold Trip. You mentioned Gold Trip to win the Cox Plate around $20-something. You're getting around $8.50. So any listeners out there, show us your bet slips and send them in the early Chrome and put them up.
responsibly, gamble responsibly, 100-858-858. Gets the blinkers back on Gold Trip. I reckon the Caulfield Cup was just like a little pipe opener. This is the goal. This would have to be the goal. It'd be fascinating to see what Mark says to you Friday. But he's going to carry big weight in the Melbourne Cup. He's always going to carry weight in the Caulfield Cup. This is a weight for age. This is the best race there is in Australia. He loves the Valley. He was the second fastest, top of my head. Praddy, correct me if I'm wrong. Second fastest last 200 meters of the day. First up, this track and trip, this prep. Like, he is fucking airborne, this horse. And Mark Zara's King Kong of the jockey ranks. So, no knock. However, Romantic Warrior, you cannot knock it. I also said to back it. They're the two I've tipped to the other Crow listeners early on. And I'm very, very happy with those positions. I think you'll beat SP on both. I really like the performance of Romantic Warrior first up Flemington. That was a race where it was much better to be worse in midfield where Gold Trip was. This guy was at the wrong end of the race and he went really well. He was so heavily backed. He's got a big SP edge versus Gold Trip. The one time they met, he's been jumping out and galloping all around Moonee Valley. He knows a lot of the back of his hand. I think they're the two to work around with one other, and that's the 11 militarized Uncle Chris, Zachy Lloyd. He'll be.
Lloyd.
I will not let him leave the Papley Power Rankings for the next 6 months if he pulls this out of his ass. But if he doesn't, he is out, because that's one of the things I wanted to raise when you return from Europe. Enough's enough. But he's now, because just the way that the cookie crumbled, there's a chance of just locking in his spot. I think they're the three betting plays. The guys who listen should already be on Romantic Warrior, should already be on at a big price Gold Trip, have something small militarized. But other than that, like, King Colorado will be sent. You watch. It'll be just lit up and sent. Injection pace.
Set up for Gold Trip.
Oh, I wasn't saying that, but some people might. It's a chance. I don't think there is a horse in this race other than my Oberon, but who was good last start, that I could confidently say can't win. Zaki's flying. Shout out to Farjack, who was going to come on. Everything he said, I agree with. This horse was just behind Think About It, which is grouse form. It's got form better than or as good as Fangirl. It's handled the Valley. We know what we're getting. They've peaked it for this. I think the Fangirls have peaked probably for those races that it was against. Mr. Brightside comes off a firm 2 Sydney track to a track where he's won at before. He's going better than ever. Very, cannot knock, drawn pretty well. Alligator Blood's completely airborne. Completely airborne. How can you knock it? He's got the heart. He is a champion, that horse. Pinstriped, you're going to get a price that makes it hard for me to say it can't win. Duas. It was trained for Melbourne Cup this time last year.
And the goat's on.
The goat's on inside draw. He's been freshened. He's got a bit of pep in his step. Scared.
Last Cox Plate.
Yep. He's barging out. Get out of my way. I'm coming through. Be yelling at everyone. And then there's Victoria Road, who's the only horse we haven't mentioned, that's trained by Aidan O'Brien, ridden by Blake Shin. And
nice barrier.
Just scares the shit out of me.
Yeah,
phenomenal race. I reckon it's the best race of the year, just in regards to how great the field is. Phenomenal effort by Moonee Valley. Great field, great race. Can't wait. You should be with Gold Trip already if you listened, and Romantic Warrior. Let's add militarized to our ticket and pray to all the gods that we get some variance.
I love it, mate. It's going to be a great race. Cannot wait. Any others that they should be on at the Valley? Or is it about it for now?
That's about it for now. We'll obviously have a bit more of a staking plan across the socials on Saturday morning. I also have 2 running sale Sunday. Keats, we just live in hope. He'll punch up and just see if he's strong enough, but he'll improve with the run. Lazy Susan in the last, race 10, number 9.
If you're on that last start, no, you have Spew on the floor.
Yep, follow your money. She's flying. She's a big price. She's $5 at the moment. She'll be hard to beat. Race 9, number 10, I think. Lazy Susan at sale Sunday. Where are we going to go? Randwick. Where we kicking off?
Let's go race 4, mate. and I really like this bet. I really like this horse. It won first up over 1,200 even, I reckon, or even might have been, I don't know, might have been shorter. I was at the races Everest Day, bolted in Everest Day from back of the field. Just a beautiful run. Gets 1,600 metres here. It beat Highlights convincingly in its last start. Highlights has come out and just lost in the Big Dance wild card, I think it was. And yeah, I think this maps beautifully. Was mapping back in the field the last two runs, maps about three back on the outside. And although my man Zachy Lloyd isn't on the hippo, he's all right. He'll get the job done for us, and that's probably one of the better bets today. Race 4, number 8, Sequestered.
What
then
price are we getting?
We're getting about 290, I reckon, roundabouts.
Yeah. Okay, I love it.
Yeah, I really like it. Then we'll go to race 8. We'll go. This is a really nice horse. Did get an easy run last start, but Magic Time will improve off last run. Barrier 11, but Tyler Sheila, I reckon, can land in a nice spot from that wider draw. Has really good gate speed, and I think will explode again. It's a nice horse. It's lightly raced, 6 starts, 4 wins, on the up, improving, and that's another good bet. And there's another one in the last race. Ooh. 10, number 4. Gringotts. Maps beautifully. Tyler Schiller on again. Had a bit of money for it. This will land in a beautiful spot and this will win. And it's 270. Still a bettable price. Got it shorter than that. Yeah, beautiful spot. Barrier 1, Schiller, Mar Eustace, and that I reckon Sequestered, and you can multi those two, Gringotts and Sequestered, and you get around the $5-6 mark, and that's a nice little multi for you.
Throw in some Imperatrice.
Yeah, there you go. There's another one. There you go. There's your little trick, your treble. But yeah, that might be a couple more. I think
we'll find out Saturday. You just got to follow the socials. We'll find out. We're going to dip our toes in a little bit more.
Exactly. Yeah. You like one from Melbourne that's racing in Sydney, didn't you?
Well, if anyone's listening and they want to do their own research, I backed one in the last at Moonee Valley that's been scratched. It races at Randwick. Find it. Race
5, number 7.
Might be in race. We don't need to do your homework. Just listen to Tom. Race 5, the 7. Mark Eustace train. Be very hard to beat. $7 available. Gift. Viewer question time to finish off our return episode 10, the Early Crow. Pratty, what do you got?
We've knocked a few over. Reese asks, can Gold Trip do the Cox Plate Melbourne Cup double?
It can. Will it? Probably not.
I reckon it will.
Ooh.
Well, it doesn't get a big weight in the cup, though, doesn't it?
Massive.
It's very hard to do. I love the horse. I reckon it's great.
See, this is why, like, you know how everyone froths about all these like recent horses. Makybe Diva is like truly like right up there with the very, very best ever. She won a Cox Plate and then a Melbourne Cup, the third one. Like you know how we're saying, if he wins a Cox Plate and a Melbourne Cup, he might be one of the greatest horses ever. Well, she'd already won fucking 2 and then won a Cox Plate and then won a third. Like as a mare, unbelievable,
crazy.
Assisted by 2 of the greatest rides of all time by G Boss. But anyway.
This one might hit a little bit too close to home, perhaps, but Terry asks, are you filthy that Lizard got more Brownlow votes than you?
I think this might be the first year Lizard actually got Brownlow votes. I've got him for total anyway. So,
is that how it's bantered amongst the boys, like totals?
Nah, not really. We're forward defenders. We don't really get much, but I've definitely got him covered for votes. First Brownlow votes. He was there, the Lizard. They were carrying on. Tell you what, that was one of the great counts. I was actually in Italy, about to go on a train. Merrill sitting around watching the last couple of rounds, and geez, it would have been one of the. I don't reckon I nearly would have flew back if ever won it.
42 touches, 2 goals, 1 vote. E. Goulden.
But it's just how it works. I think Petrarca got stiff and Dacos got robbed a fair few times as well. But anyway,
I think that's why it's a great event and a great thing to probably bet upon. but it's certainly not a true indication of the best player in the comp.
And then to round out the night, because we are burning the midnight oil here, would you rather, this is from Jared, would you rather ride multiple Group 1 winning horses or train multiple Group 1 winning horses? Paps, we'll start with you first.
You couldn't pay me to get on a horse, so I'm definitely training him. Although I probably could ride a horse. I'm not small and light. But no, you couldn't pay me.
100% train. Wouldn't rule it out either. We could become trainers. We could be a little combo.
Yeah, there we go. The early crow.
We'll spell him out in Bunyip. Train him out of Cranbourne.
Yeah.
Play at Peninsula Kingswood every Wednesday.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh,
That's good.
Float fees. Oh, the works. Yeah, sign me up. All right, that's been the Early Crow episode 10. It's late on a Thursday. We are back. We appreciate your patience and your support. We're looking to pivot the show slightly as we move forward. Tommy, we're going to be more a Tuesday Arvo focused dribble with a bit of a look back at what happened more so and a little bit of an eye to what's gone forward. And then maybe when we can, a tidy up of the racing that's ahead on a Saturday, on a Thursday or a Friday, but a shorter, sharper one there. But our content will cover our tips anyway. That's what we're going to try and do moving forward, but we appreciate your patience and we will see you. You'll see us. You'll hear us next.